Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Premier League review show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. There's only one major highlight of Matchweek 34, and that is Liverpool have been crowned Premier League champions for the 20th time. Liverpool are now the most successful team in English history. It's been a weekend full of celebrations that have escalated into the weekdays. So don't expect us Liverpool fans to slow it down anytime soon because this will go on throughout the whole summer. But in terms of today's show, let's go ahead and review the matches that have taken place in the past week. And of course, we'll start at Anfield. Liverpool got an early scare as former Red Dominic Solanke broke the deadlock in the 11th minute with a header to give Spurs the lead. But in all honesty, I wasn't worried. I knew my team would respond, and that's exactly how it panned out. The equaliser came through a Diaz finish. Great work from Salah and Szoboszlai on that right-hand side. Szoboszlai producing the low cross for the Colombian attacker to make it 1-1. Then Liverpool found their stride and made it 2-1. And what a finish it was from McAllister, aka Mac 10. That left finish strike was hit from 25 yards out, and it certainly rattles the net. Then Gakpo makes it 3-1 with a clever finish from a set piece. That was the first half, and Liverpool continued their form into the second half. And there was one man who had to get onto the score sheet, and that was the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah. His goal, he cuts in and produces an unstoppable shot into the corner. That's his 28th goal in the league this season. He has truly been sensational this season. And rival fans, you'll be seeing more of Salah for at least another 2 years. But to top it off, the goal celebration was fantastic as he took a leaf out of WWE wrestler Drew McIntyre's book and took a selfie during the game with the crowd. You know, something you love to see with these sort of spontaneous celebrations. And the fifth goal was an own goal from the left back Udogi, but the mission was completed. Liverpool got the win to secure the Premier League title as the players celebrated with the crowd, and that's what was missing in the 2019-2020 season. I'm so proud of the team and Arne Slot. He's managed to secure the Premier League title in his first season. He's the first Dutch manager to win the Premier League title. So this has to be regarded as one of the best opening seasons from a foreign coach. Also, Virgil van Dijk becomes the first Dutch captain to win the Premier League title. So this club is all about breaking records, and we've done that throughout the season and will continue to do so in the future. The date is set for the parade, which is the 26th of May. So you know we'll probably need to find a photographer to come and take some pictures of this joyous occasion. There's one guy in particular who I know is definitely available for the fixture, or shall I say for this date, and that is Martin Odegaard. So Martin Odegaard, please, let's make use of your skill set because winning trophies isn't one of them this season, unfortunately for you guys. As I mentioned earlier in the show, this is Liverpool's 20th league title win, which equals Manchester United's record. So United fans will probably need to retire the 20 league title song because it's invalid now. But before we move on, just like to say one statement. Liverpool are now back on their pitch. Come on, Reds. Now, on to the next fixture. And it's regarding the top four race. And that the first fixture is Chelsea versus Ipswich Town. In terms of this fixture, full of goals. Um, and it was a big win for Newcastle. But unfortunately for the opponent, Ipswich Town, uh, this game pretty much led to their relegation to the Championship. In terms of the goals, Isak steps up for the penalty kick as Murphy was fouled inside the box. And you already know the outcome. The Swedish striker opens the scoreline with his finish and scores his 22nd goal of the season. So he's having an outstanding season himself. Dan Burn makes it 2-0 with a close range header, and Ozwrld makes it 3-0 with a great header to score his first goal for Newcastle. That win moves Newcastle up to third in the league. Now, can they hang on to finish for a Champions League position? I'm not so sure. There's only 2 points separating between third and sixth position right now, so there's a lot to play in the remaining games of the season. But I do believe Newcastle have a strong chance of claiming one of those positions. Next fixture, Chelsea versus Everton. Chelsea continued their hunt for a top four finish after beating Everton 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. The goal came through the forgotten man in Nicholas Jackson, who hits a fantastic right footed shot into the bottom corner on the edge of the box. That win helps Chelsea move up to fifth in the table, but they face the newly crowned champions, Liverpool, this Sunday. So, not an easy task to get a result. And speaking of Sunday, Chelsea, please make sure that you give my team a proper guard of honor, especially Caicedo and Labio, who of course rejected us a couple of years ago. You know, they're in this moment now where they have to applaud us as we walk in. So, this is something you love to see, especially when things don't plan out for certain players. Now, in terms of the next fixture, Forest versus Brentford. Forest suffered a surprise defeat at home from the hands of Brentford, and this result could really hamper their pursuit for a top four finish. Shada opens the scoreline for Brentford with a 1-1 finish. Then in the second half, Wissa doubles the lead with a lovely dinked finish. Forest are sixth in the table. I would really love them to finish in the top four as it would be a remarkable ending to their season. But I do worry about them as it looks like they have lost a bit of steam in their chase for the top four. The next fixture is against Crystal Palace. It's at Selhurst Park, so they must get a result to have any chance of reaching either third or fourth in the league. Otherwise, unfortunately, it could dent their hopes and chances of finishing in the top five. Now, in other games, you have Brighton versus West Ham. This match was full of good goals. It started from Ayari, who opens the scoreline with a fantastic finish from 25 yards out. Kudus then gets the equalizer for West Ham with a tap in. Then, surprisingly, West Ham took the lead through a diving Suchek header. Mitoma equalizes with a point blank header for Brighton. But the winning goal, wow, what a crazy finish from Belieber. Left foot strike around 35 yards out, curled it right into the corner. Unstoppable shot. What a goal from the midfielder. And that strike secures the win for the Seagulls. Next fixture, Bournemouth versus Manchester United. And I can't believe it. Manchester United managed to secure a point against the Cherries, but it happened in very late fashion. Bournemouth opened the scoreline through a left-footed finish from Semenyo. Then in the 96th minute, Hoyland grabs the crucial equalizer from a close-range finish. In terms of the outcome of the league, United remain in 14th place. Unfortunately for Bournemouth, they have dropped to 10th in the table. Next fixture, Southampton versus Fulham. After back-to-back defeats, Fulham managed to secure a win against the relegated Southampton, but the home team took the lead as captain Stevens opens the scoreline with a glancing header. Smith Rowe then gets the equaliser with a deflected finish. Then in the 94th minute, Sessegnon grabs the winning goal with a brave header. You hear the crowd chanting he's one of their own, so they certainly enjoyed that moment. And that win helps Fulham move up to eighth in the table. So they've been having a very good season under Marco Silva. And the final fixture of Matchweek 34, and that is Wolves versus Leicester City. Wolves produced a dominant win against the Foxes. Cunha opens the scoreline with a very clever finish into the bottom corner. Great assist from like Nouri. Strand Larson makes it 2-0 with a clinical finish. Leicester were awarded a penalty, but Jose Sarr denies Jamie Vardy from the spot. And then Rodrigo Gomez, who comes off the bench to make it 3-0 with a neat finish from a counter attack. And that win helps Wolves move up to 13th in the table, which is pretty good as they were lingering around the relegation zones for most parts of the season. And that is the end of our Matchweek 34 review. So what we'll do now is we will move on and predict the score lines for the upcoming match, which is Matchweek 35. One game has already taken place. I think it's concluded now. So let's see what the result is. As I've not watched the game. So what we could do now, we can move on. Let me refresh the page just to make sure it is the final score. So that is it. So Man City have beaten Wolves. Let's see where they are in the Premier League. I think they would have moved up a spot. So let's have a look at the current table. So they're currently in third place with 64 points. So only 3 points away from Arsenal. Could you imagine if Arsenal drop drop form and lose their second place? It's actually not um impossible. It could be a reality, but we'll see. We've got a few more weeks left of the season. Now, in terms of the other fixtures, we have a midday kickoff tomorrow between Aston Villa and Fulham. Now, in terms of the prediction for this match, I'm going for a Villa win. I think they'll just about nick this one, so I'm going to predict a 2-1 result for the Villains. Everton versus Ipswich Town. I think Everton will get the win here. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Everton. Leicester City versus Southampton, two relegated sides. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I don't see this being a game full of goals or anything to that nature. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. This is a tricky game for Arsenal. It'll be interesting to see what sort of team is put out as well. Of course, they've got a very important second leg next week against Paris Saint-Germain. So will Mikel Arteta rotate the squad? I think he might, I think he might go with a not a second team as such, but a rotated starting lineup. So I think they may drop points in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And I think because Bournemouth, they play on the front foot, they're very attack minded. I think they will cause the Gunners some issues. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 prediction there. And in terms of the Sunday fixtures, you've got Brentford versus Manchester United. I'm going for a Brentford win. It's not going to be a crazy scoreline. I think it was like 3-4-0 a couple of years ago. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for the Bees. And Brighton versus Newcastle, I'm going to go for a Newcastle win. And I think the score will be 3-2 to the Toonami. West Ham versus Spurs. Another interesting fact in terms of Spurs. Now, of course, they've won their first leg tie in the Europa League. Will they rotate their team? I think they could do. So it won't be the strongest team available on the day. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for the Hammers. Chelsea versus Liverpool. I'm going to go for a win for the Reds. Not surprised there, of course. So the score prediction I'm going for will be a 2-0 victory for Liverpool. And the final fixture is Monday Night Football between Crystal Palace versus Forest. I would like Forest to win, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Forest, and hopefully that puts them back into the mix of finishing in the top four place. So that is the end of my match week 35 predictions. Just got one comment here before we close the show from Ozan Kabak. Big up, so Ozan Kabak. He says, Champione, Champione, ole, ole, ole. Big up yourself, Ozan Kabak. Appreciate your comment, appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, I will not get bored of singing that or get bored of mentioning that Liverpool are champions. So that is the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, in terms of upcoming content, I've had a few days off, so I'm going to go back into full gear today. So after this show at 10:30 p.m., I will be doing a match preview of the fixture between Chelsea and Liverpool. And then 11 p.m. tonight, I will be doing a transfer talk show regarding all the latest rumors surrounding Liverpool. So feel free to join in and get involved in the live chat. And then we'll be doing a live watch along of this fixture between Chelsea and Liverpool on Sunday, plus a match reaction later in the evening. So lots of shows coming up. So please make sure you hit that notification bell. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.